Okay, let's dive in. You've brought us some really interesting source material today. It's excerpts from a novel, First Lady. And honestly, it tells a story we were immediately drawn to. It's about this woman born right into the spotlight who just wants out.
Exactly. The material we're looking at focuses right in on the main character, Cornelia Litchfield Case, just after this huge national tragedy. We get inside her head, see her situation, and follow this completely unexpected journey she takes and the, well, unusual people she meets.
So our mission here for this deep dive is to really unpack what the source material is showing us. We'll follow Cornelia as she tries to break free, try to understand why she felt she had to vanish, and see how her search for just an ordinary life throws her into these extraordinary situations with other people who are also dealing with their own stuff. We want to pull out those fascinating details, the aha moments in the text.
Yeah, it's a really powerful look at the weight of expectations and how connections can form in the weirdest places.
Absolutely. So let's start with Cornelia Litchfield Case herself. Who who is she according to these sources?
Well, right away you see she's from this world of immense privilege,
Right.
real patrician background.
Mayflower blue blood, the text says. It
Yeah.
even compares her to Jacqueline Kennedy, just to give you a sense of that background and presence.
And her life is just totally tangled up with politics.
Yeah.
She married Dennis Case, who, became president.
Yeah.
But the source really highlights her father, James Litchfield. He was a former VP, big party chairman.
And pivotal, it seems, not just in Dennis Case's career, but even in arranging their marriage. You get this sense right off the bat that her life wasn't maybe entirely her own choice.
Which makes what happens next feel even more, well, dramatic. The sources throw us right into the aftermath of President Case's assassination, and it's all through her eyes. And wow, the writing really captures how surreal that is.
It does. There's that incredible detail, isn't there? The itchy nose she couldn't scratch because the whole world was watching. Oh, that's so specific. It grounds this massive public event in such a relatable human discomfort.
Exactly. And layered on top of that are her thoughts. The text mentions her trying to process grief, but also thinking about Elton John songs like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and wondering if he'd write one for her husband.
Yeah.
It's the mind kind of grasping at straws, right? Trying to cope with the huge by focusing on the small, the random. A fascinating glimpse the source gives us.
It really is. That clash between the public spectacle and the private, messy reality. And then right in the middle of all this, she has this key meeting in the Oval Office. The new president, Vandervoort described as sort of ascetic, humorless, but smart. He asks her to, well, to stay on as First Lady.
Right. And her father's there, backing this up. He calls it an ideal solution for the administration. The text makes it clear he sees her background, her competence, as essential for the new team, but you also feel his influence, his control.
Oh, definitely. You really feel that control. The source describes his patronizing look, the Prince Philip posture, and he just lays it out. You gave up your right to a private life when you married Dennis.
But her internal reaction is just raw, isn't it? I don't want to do this. I've earned a private life.
That phrase, earned a private life, it says so much about what she feels she's already sacrificed. The text says she felt trapped, like there was no good reason she shouldn't just keep doing the job she was practically born for. And so she decides.
Not to stay, but to set herself free, even if it's just for a little while. And what does she dream of? Simple things, the source lists them. Going grocery shopping, walking down the street, eating ice cream, actually saying what she thinks. Things we take for granted.
So the huge question the source raises is, how does someone like her actually get away? And the way it describes it is surprisingly bold.
Yeah, it mentions the disguise, that gray wig they find later, and she just walks out
Yeah.
through the north portico of the White House.
It almost sounds too simple, doesn't it?
It does. Which maybe highlights how, even the most protected person can find a way out if they're determined enough. And then, okay, she needs transport.
Right. She gets to Maryland somehow and buys this car, a nondescript 4-year-old blue Chevy Corsica. Pays way too much for it, the source notes.
Anonymity is the goal there. Just blend in.
And that feeling when she's finally driving, the source really captures that sense of release. It says, first time in her life, she was free. Just being on the freeway is freedom.
And she really embraces it, doesn't she? This temporary, ordinary life, dawdling along highways in Pennsylvania, taking detours through little towns.
The source even mentions her stopping to look at soybeans and thinking about farm subsidies. It just highlights how foreign this normal world is, but how much she's drawn to it.
Yeah, browsing in an antique shop for an hour. The text says she actually managed it. She became Blissfully, sublimely ordinary.
Blissfully ordinary, that says it all. But of course, this scheme isn't straightforward. Her path, as the source shows, is about to crash into some other people. Specifically, Mat Jorik and these two kids.
Ah, yes, Matt. He's introduced as this big guy, right? 6 feet 6 inches tall, a big roughneck of a man.
And his backstory is crucial. The source tells us he used to be this well-respected print journalist in Chicago.
Right, but he fell hard. Ended up doing what the text calls tabloid television.
Yeah, cheating husbands, lesbian wives, and clairvoyant pets. It paints a picture.
Definitely. So now he's on this mission, this quest, the source says, to prove he can shoot straight again, get back to basics, short words, and simple sentences. And he's deeply cynical, especially about politicians.
Okay, but he's meeting with a lawyer not for a story, but for something personal. His name's on the birth certificates for his ex-wife Sandy's two daughters.
Right, and Sandy just died 6 weeks before in a drunk driving accident. Her boyfriend, Trent, died too. And the source makes it clear Trent was the baby's biological father, and he himself grew up in foster care.
So Matt hasn't seen Sandy in, what, 15 years?
Nearly 15 years, yeah. But his conscience, the source mentions, too much early influence from nuns, which is a great detail. It won't let him just let the kids go into the system.
So what's his plan?
Pragmatic, but kind of cold initially. Get a blood test to sort out paternity, then hand the girls over to the grandmother. That's the idea.
But then he actually meets the older girl, Lucy, and she's not going along with it.
No. The source describes her small, defiant face. She's tough. Tells him straight up, we got nothing to talk about. We're doing great by ourselves.
You get the sense she's got a lot of anger towards, or her mom calls her a drunk, but she's fiercely protective of the little one.
Absolutely. Me and my sister aren't going to any foster homes, she insists. And then there's the crucial detail. She's terrified of needles and flying.
So Matt's plan for a quick blood test and flight is out the window.
Completely. So he has to change tack. He ends up getting a Winnebago, names it Mabel.
Mabel the Winnebago. Okay.
And decides he'll just drive him. He figures he has 4 or 5 days to kill anyway, which, shows he has no idea what he's really getting into.
So you've got Cornelia running from her life, finding this temporary ordinary, and Matt, who's suddenly got this chaotic new life forced upon him, and then their paths collide.
Dramatically. Cornelia's freedom bubble pops when her anonymous car gets stolen at a rest stop. Just like that.
While she just stepped away for a moment.
Yep. Suddenly she's stranded. Just a $20 bill in her pocket. The source shows her thinking, okay, this is it. I have to call the White House. Give up.
But before she makes that call,
she sees the baby, Button, crawling towards the parking lot near a reversing car. And the text gives us this insight. It uses her real name, Neely. Here, a baby in danger, the one thing in life she hadn't been able to escape since she was 16.
Wow. That connects back, doesn't it? That protective instinct just takes over, overrides everything else.
It does. And saving the baby leads her straight to Matt, whose journalist brain immediately starts worrying.
He's curious, right? Why isn't she reporting the stolen car?
Exactly. The source shows his suspicion. Is the car even hers? Is she running from something? He pokes at her. Afraid to get your hands dirty. Trying to get a reaction, get the story.
And he sees she's desperate, and he's desperate for help with these kids.
So he makes her an offer. The source puts it bluntly. Helping out is your ticket to ride.
And she takes it, despite the rough-looking guy, the messy RV, the screaming baby.
Because she wants to stay on the run badly enough.
Yeah.
It's this moment of pure pragmatism. Two people in crisis finding a really unlikely solution in each other.
So she jumps into this new role, invents a name, Nell Kelly, and a story running from a rich ex, hence the pregnancy disguise, to fool detectives.
And promises Matt she's not married, which is technically true, I suppose.
Right, and she immediately connects with the baby, feeding her peas, tries to connect with Lucy, though Lucy's still pretty resistant to a hug. It's the beginning of this completely makeshift road family.
And the source really has some fun, showing how unconventional this setup is. Life in the Winnebago. You've got the former First Lady, all elegance, jammed in with this huge, grumpy journalist, a sarcastic teenager, and a baby who won't stop crying.
Yeah, the contrasts are great. Like Matt being too tall for the RV, constantly bumping into things.
And the dialogue snippets are telling.
Yeah.
Lucy hits them with her teenage sass, as if. And then Neely, totally unexpectedly, throws it right back at her, as if.
And it makes Lucy giggle. That's a breakthrough moment, isn't it? Connecting with her on her level.
It is. And then there's Matt's general crankiness, prompting Neely's line about earthly possessions being obstacles, which sounds very different coming from someone who just walked away from, well, everything.
Those little moments make it feel real. But things get serious again when they reach Iowa, looking for the grandmother.
Yeah, that plan hits a brick wall. They find the house, but there's some slacker living there who tells them the grandmother died. Not recently, but almost a year ago. Lucy had lied about her just being out of the country.
Oh, wow. So the whole trip was based on a lie from Lucy.
Pretty much, and this leads to a huge blow-up between her and Mat. But interestingly, the source shows Neely watching this, thinking Lucy isn't stupid, and actually kind of admiring her defiance, even while Mat is furious and sends Lucy off to the Winnebago for a talking to.
While that's happening, Neely looks around the grandmother's house. What does she find?
The source describes it as cozy, but a strange mix, scholarly journals alongside junk food, maybe reflecting different people, different times. And she finds old rose bushes outside, another one of those grounding sensory details.
And this setting prompts a big internal moment for Neely, doesn't it? About her father.
It does. She realizes that leaving the White House was the first time she really defined him. She questions if she was always scared he wouldn't love her if she pushed back. It's this moment of realizing she needs him to accept her for who she is now, on her own terms. Her escape is becoming more than just physical.
Meanwhile, Matt's feeling the pressure cooker.
Totally overwhelmed. The source gives us his internal monologue. In less than a week, I've acquired 2 kids, a pregnant woman I'm telling everyone is my wife, and a damn dog. Right? There's a dog involved, too.
Her dog, too. Okay.
Yeah, it adds to the chaos. He feels trapped. He spent his life trying to avoid this kind of responsibility, especially family stuff, having grown up responsible for sisters, and now it's all back. He mentions talking to his lawyer the paternity results will take 2 weeks, and he knows he can't just ditch Neely and the kids. He's stuck.
And while they're dealing with this internal drama, the outside world, the world Cornelia ran from, is getting closer. The source shifts perspective a bit here.
Right. News is out. Cornelia Case is missing. Left voluntarily. No Secret Service. Her father, James Litchfield, refuses to comment, which is telling. And there's a big FBI Secret Service task force looking for her. It's a major operation.
The source gives some investigation details, too.
Yeah, like her fingerprints were found on that stolen Chevy. Seems a bit careless, maybe. Her advisor says she seemed fine the night before, didn't use any distress code. And in the trunk of the car, the wig, clothes, $15,000 cash, clearly shows she planned to leave.
And then leads start coming in.
A grocery clerk in Illinois reports seeing someone who looked like the Cornelia Case look-alike from that weird West Virginia contest mentioned earlier, traveling with a man, a teenager, and a baby.
That specific group. So suddenly Mat, Neely, Lucy, and Button are on the radar. FBI agents DeLuca and Williams are on the case.
And all this external stuff is feeding Mat's own suspicions about Nell. He's a reporter. He notices things. Her knowledge, how Nell sounds like Neely.
Got journalist's gut feeling.
Exactly. Plus, the source mentions he overhears a radio broadcast where her college friend talks about Neely. He thinks it's insane, the First Lady, in his Winnebago. But the idea is planted.
Which leads to that huge turning point. They're at this abandoned farmhouse in Iowa. They've had this surprisingly normal, peaceful day picnic, exploring, swimming. They even kiss.
A moment of connection. And Mat decides to just test it. He says simply, Mrs. Case.
And she answers, yes. Just instinct.
Yep. The truth is out. Boom. The whole fragile reality they built just collapses.
How does Neely react?
She's devastated, according to the source. Feels like she's lost him, lost that fantasy of a possible future they were maybe starting to imagine.
And Mat?
Furious. Feels sucker punched, played for a chump. He wonders if she was secretly laughing at him the whole time. That sense of betrayal is huge for him.
And the source mentions he even considers. What was it? The possibility her marriage was complicated in the way hinted elsewhere, maybe about Dennis Case being gay?
Right. It's like his mind is scrambling to make sense of why she lied so completely. Was there any truth mixed in? It shows how thrown he is.
So the next morning is tense.
Oh, yeah. Formal, angry. Mat feels totally wronged. Neely tries to argue, look, I'm the same person I was yesterday. My name doesn't change that. But the trust is broken. He's wrestling with his personal feelings versus maybe his old journalistic detachment.
And then she briefly disappears again at a service station.
Just for a moment. But it sends Mat into a panic. And he snaps at her. The source shows him basically taking charge, protector mode kicking in despite the anger. Damn it, Nell, still calling her Nell. When we're not in that motorhome, I want you stuck to my side. He's clearly terrified of losing her or something happening to her, even while he's furious and confused about who she even is.
Wow. That just shows how tangled up they are now, isn't it? So the story moves towards a resolution, but it's not simple. Lucy gets involved again.
Right, she's upset after Matt yelled at her, and she probably senses that this family is falling apart now. Neely's identity is known. So she does something drastic.
She takes Mabel,
Mm.
the Winnebago.
Yep, takes off with Button, intending to get a job so they can all live in the motorhome together. It's her desperate attempt to hold on to the family unit
And Neely sees her driving off erratically.
and rushes out. And in that moment, the source highlights a critical choice. She sees the FBI agents, DeLuca and Williams, across the street, and she goes straight to them for help.
Knowing it will blow her cover completely.
Exactly. The text emphasizes that. She hadn't hesitated, even though she'd known it would blow her cover forever.
Yeah.
The kid's safety comes first. Period.
So the agents help.
They do. They chase Lucy down, Neely in the car with them. Agent DeLuca uses a bluff, threatens to shoot the tires, shoot Lucy, stuff kids see in movies. The source notes to get her to stop. It works.
And Matt arrives on the scene, too.
Yeah, he sees Neely went to the feds, and then Neely does something amazing. She tells Lucy she wants to adopt her and Button.
Wow. Just like that.
Well, not quite just like that.
Yeah.
The source shows Neely being incredibly honest about the downsides. She lays it all out for Lucy. Losing privacy, Secret Service everywhere, the media scrutiny, people waiting for you to fail because you're now a public figure, no sugarcoating.
But Lucy still says yes.
She does. That desire for a real family, for stability, outweighs all the warnings. Matt's surprised, the source says, but he doesn't interfere.
But now Matt has this huge story, right? His journalistic instincts must be screaming.
Oh, absolutely. The source gives his thought, my big story had just gotten bigger. And Neely realizes, oh my God, he's been a journalist this whole time I've been confiding in him.
She feels betrayed all over again.
Totally. Like she was sleeping with the enemy, the source says. She asks him, demands he promise not to write about her. His hesitation tells her everything. She feels used, hurt, and plans to leave him behind.
But Lucy isn't giving up on them.
Not a chance. She's still playing matchmaker. She gets Neely's new address, her estate, and gives it to that nice family they met, the Waynes, knowing Matt still cares about the girls.
Meanwhile, Matt has his own moment of truth.
He does. He finally admits it to himself. I'm in love with Neely Case. He realizes he wants the whole package, her, the girls. He can't stand the thought of losing them. He decides he has to try and fix the mess he feels he's made.
So he makes a big gesture.
The biggest. Shows up at her estate in Virginia with, like, an assortment of 6 dozen roses.
6 dozen. Okay.
He meets the housekeeper, Kina, and there's another baby there, Andre, who belongs to Button's babysitter. Just adds to the picture of this evolving, slightly chaotic household Neely is building.
And then Lucy sets up a dinner.
Yep, invites Matt without telling Neely. Neely walks in and sees Matt and Lucy just interacting comfortably. Lucy tries to seat Matt right next to Neely, basically forcing the family dynamic.
And then the Waynes arrive.
Invited by Lucy, too. They've already figured out who Neely really is, but the source shows they're totally cool with it, just bringing food, fitting right in. Matt actually ends up explaining the whole crazy story to them because Neely's too overwhelmed. It really emphasizes how this unconventional support network is forming around them.
And amidst all this, Matt proposes.
He does. And the source stresses, it's not because he has to, he's still the girl's legal guardian at this point. The adoption isn't final. He proposes because he wants it, wants them. He gives this really long, heartfelt speech comparing her to air, food, everything essential.
It's the opposite of the cynical journalist we met earlier.
Completely. It's raw, emotional. Neely's overwhelmed, asks him to say it again. And the source confirms they reconnect, they make love. It seals the deal on this improbable relationship.
And the source ends with an epilogue.
Yeah, jumps forward 8 years. And Cornelia Litchfield Case Jorik is being inaugurated as President of the United States.
Wow. Okay.
Matt's right there beside her, holding the family Bible. And the family picture is complete. Matt, President Neely, Lucy, Button, who's also called Holly or Charlotte here, maybe middle names or later preferences, and Andre, the babysitter's baby from that dinner scene, is part of their family now, too. An American mutt, the source calls them.
So Matt, who ran from family responsibility?
Ends up as the first gentleman, this very public family man. He reflects on that irony. The final image is them kissing on Pennsylvania Avenue, right back where her public life began, but now on completely different terms.
It's quite a journey the source lays out. What strikes me, looking back at all this, is how it uses this almost fantastical premise, First Lady runs away, to explore really universal things, the need to be authentic, finding where you belong, how families get made in unexpected ways.
Exactly, that tension between who the world thinks you are or should be and who you actually want to be.
You see all these characters, Neely escaping the spotlight, Matt escaping his past failures, Lucy and Button escaping the system. They find what they need not by sticking to some plan, but by kind of falling into this messy, unpredictable situation together.
Yeah, they embrace the detour, basically.
So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. Consider how often our deepest needs for connection, belonging, maybe even freedom aren't met by following the map we're given. Maybe sometimes they're found when we embrace the unexpected chaos the detours life throws at us. Even if that detour starts with something as weirdly specific as an itchy nose you can't scratch, or a paternity test that goes completely sideways.